We're driving a 2022 Chevy Traverse. Coming up, we're going to tell you how the Chevy Traverse helps you keep your secrets. But first, information explosion! The Chevy Traverse was updated in 2022 with a mid-cycle refresh, so it looks a little bit different, and they've changed some of the trims, that kind of stuff. Let's start talking about it in the most logical place for a three-row SUV, interior.
I think it's pretty sleek looking and modern looking for a three-row family vehicle. The only thing I will note is if you have an aversion to fingerprints, there are a lot of shiny surfaces like the black plastic and these metallic looking plastics.
I don't think it's like aggressively stylish, but for the segment, I don't know if aggressively stylish would be the target.
Yes, it's pleasing and modern.
Yeah, one of the things that the Traverse has over, let's say, the Explorer that we drove recently is that you can get up to 8 seats in a Chevy Traverse. And then they also have, like the one we're driving, a 7-passenger version with second row captain's chairs. This has one of the features that we really loved on the Nissan Pathfinder, which is a kind of a tip function for the second row, meaning that you can move the second row forward with a second row child seat installed. You have to remove the seat belts in order to gain passage to the third row when you have the second row child seat installed. However,
or move like a Spider-Man.
Honestly, moving the seatbelt out of the way isn't terribly onerous. And then the second row functionality is great. They slide and recline, plenty of space for me. In the third row, legroom can be a little tight, but I think you can kind of democratically apportion legroom between reasonable people. So make sure you're sitting behind a reasonable person. As for headroom, third row headroom is excellent. I wish they offered a adjustable recline function. Corvette, we almost got hit by a Corvette, guys. That thing just came right up over the hill with great speed. And I'll tell you one thing about that C4 Corvette. Very thin pillars, great visibility, terrible in a rollover. Yeah, my complaint? No, not my complaint, just a request for the third row is that I'd love to be able to recline, adjust the recline. That said, the static recline position I find pretty comfortable. USB ports. 6 USB ports come standard, and they're spread around all 3 rows. So no matter where you are, you will have power for your devices so you can ignore your loved ones.
Hooray!
Oh, I thought of an actual complaint about the third row. When you're back there, the sight picture for you is bad. Like the thick C-pillar means that you really don't have much of a view forward or even to the side. And as we know, visibility is a great inhibitor for motion sickness. One thing I think that the Chevy Traverse does really well is small storage. Like the doors have, like little nooks and stuff, and this is a big center console area. If you're in the second row seats, the main cup holders are in the door, and when you close the door, you might spill your drink unless it's got a lid on it. And I know that because I was going to do a little TikTok video, and I did not intend to do it, but the coffee just spilled everywhere. TikTok, it's not just for embarrassing yourself while dancing.
Let's talk about the cargo space.
Yes.
There's so much room in the back. I love the underfloor storage area because it's actually large enough that you could go grocery shopping and put bags back there.
Yeah, it's actually 23 cubic feet behind the third row, which is massive. Most of the competitors are under 20 cubic feet. One thing we always test with our videos is how easy is it for our kid to get in and out. What do you think, kiddo? Was it easy to get into this vehicle? Second row child seat latch points are very accessible. They just kind of clicked right in. There was no finagling. I didn't have to faff about. Yes, I am trying to expand my vocabulary. Thank you, YouTube commenters. One thing I noted though is that there are no latch points in the third row seats. That means if you want to secure a child seat in the third row, you're gonna have to use the seat belt, and man, that is just such a hassle. Strangely, the 2022 Traverse is not rated by the NHTSA in general, but it is rated for rollover at 4 stars. I don't know how that works, that the rollover exists and then the other ratings don't. What I do know is that for 2022, they've changed their safety equipment so that active safety features like automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist, those features now come standard.
They are highly active as well. I had it go off 3 times in one morning. We live in a community with a lot of windy mountain roads, and when people park on the side of the road, if the system is too sensitive, it will alert you because it thinks you're about to plow into the back of them.
Almost like it has an inflamed sense of danger. It's not trying to make things more difficult, it's trying to help. And
yes, sweetie?
I'm saying that I appreciate what the Traverse is trying to do, even though sometimes it might be a little overbearing.
Okay.
There are 7 airbags standard, including an inboard driver airbag, so we don't whack together in an incident. And then another standard feature now is something called Teen Driver. You can add like a speed limit or a volume limit, and you can also get a report card after they drive. That'll show like how many times the stability control was activated, how many times they were at wide open throttle. Sorry, teenagers, you're going to have to drive responsibly. You'll have to find another way to be dangerous. Try dirt bikes. So what do you think? Is the Chevy Traverse family friendly?
Absolutely, family friendly.
Rear window test.
All the way down.
All the way down. Armrest test. Here I am motoring around in our little mountain community, and my elbows are very comfortable. It's close enough to the steering wheel that I don't have to remove my elbows. I can just sort of shuffle steer in blissful comfort. I'm gonna go full marks inboard and outboard. Hey, have you subscribed to our channel? If you haven't, please do! At 100,000 subs, which, I don't know, maybe that's already happened, but it's coming up so quickly, we're gonna review a windowless white van. Style! Let me very quickly interject that we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Flying Eyes Sunglasses. I wear them all the time in the helicopter.
I'm one-upping you because I wear them all the time, even in bed.
What? Objects in glasses may look larger than...
Whoa. They are so comfortable. They have these super thin temples, so they're comfortable under a headset or a helmet, which I do not wear in bed. And they are...
Maybe the helmet, depends on what's happening.
They are nearly indestructible. Also, the ophthalmic line comes with these removable magnetic lenses. Bam!
If you would appreciate some aviation grade eyewear, no matter what you do, whether you're in the sky, on the ground, or you're just a super fashionable person, click the link in the description below. It will save 10% if you use the promo code Micah. Thank you for listening to our Flying Eyes ad. Let's talk more about being in bed. No. Let's talk about more about the Chevy Traverse.
The Traverse is pleasant, but not exciting to me.
Yeah, I would agree. To me, it doesn't... oh, look, Kia Telluride going the other direction.
That's what I was thinking of.
It's almost like we willed that into existence, but that's the kind of vehicle where you're like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Traverse is styled in a way that makes me think, ooh, I want that. But again, I think for the category, there are people that just kind of want an innocuous SUV, and I think it's handsome. I don't think it's a bad-looking SUV. What do you guys think about the style of the Chevy Traverse? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Tell us in the comments. If you are curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. I'm this guy, she's that girl.
I'm this girl.
She's that girl. I'm a dude. We are people. These are our handles. I'm driving a car. That's a dude in a pickup truck. Hey, look, a clip. And here comes a Segway. In motion. Driving the Traverse is a bit like looking at the Traverse. I don't know if I'm feeling any sort of big radical emotions driving the thing, but yeah, very comfortable ride. One thing I noticed is that it's pretty quiet in here. Active noise cancellation comes standard. Oh, let me floor it. Whee! One thing I like about driving the Traverse is that it has a naturally aspirated V6. Good power, but it's also prompt. And then the transmission, it's a 9-speed automatic. It works just sort of seamlessly. If you don't notice it, it's doing its job. You know what I'm curious about though? What do you think? Sweetie's driving. You and I sit in different positions. Tell me, how's visibility in the Traverse?
That C-pillar is huge.
It's a massive C.
So I can't see back there. Over my left shoulder, not a great view.
Yeah, but I would say that this is more narrow than you'd find in, let's say, the Ford Explorer. That's just a roof crush standard situation. So, you know what's fun is if you look at an old car, you get an old car and you see like how super thin the pillars are and you're like, oh my gosh, what an amazing view you have out. And then you think, what if I rolled it?
Yeah.
Don't roll your old car. How big does this vehicle feel while you're at the wheel?
I like driving this vehicle because it feels like I'm driving something much smaller.
Visually, like the dash kind of comes in and around, and it feels kind of small. The knobs are all small. And then also, as you're steering, does that give you a small feel?
It does. I really like the way this vehicle steers.
There's a sort of a promptness to the steering ratio. It feels, dare I say, agile. And the sight picture makes you think like, oh, this could be like a compact SUV or something like that, though it is not. Are you having like any fun, or do you feel confident? Maybe that's a better way to put it. Do you feel confident?
Ooh, I feel confident driving this around, and to me, that equates fun.
All right, my sweetie's feeling confident. I'm getting back to the driver's seat. Overall, I think the Chevy Traverse is an agreeable driving SUV. I would not turn it away for a road trip or something like that. Let me very quickly thank the people who support us over on Patreon. You guys get early access to our videos. We love chatting with you guys over there. Thank you, patrons.
Thank you.
Charging forward to emotion factor. Do you want to weigh in on the emotion factor here?
I do enjoy driving this around. Like, there is an emotion. It's just pleasant.
I'm going to say in the same way when we talk about family friendliness, how we're tempted to say everything is family friendly because you can make almost anything work. You can have an emotional attachment to almost anything, but I'm going to veto it this time. I'm just going to say, no, there's not really an emotion factor. Not that you can't love it, but it's not a particularly evocative design, and it's not outrageously fun to drive. It's more utilitarian than that, and that's totally okay. But I don't know, what about you? Are you feeling emotionally drawn to buy a Chevy Traverse of your very own? If so, check the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Remarks! In the beginning of the video, I teased that the Chevy Traverse will help keep your secrets.
Secrets.
Here's how it does it. Behind this infotainment screen, lady, show them what happens. There is a banana. And do you know why? Bananas are hilarious. What's that, iguana? Yeah, you can get it in here.
I thought it was in there because it's a healthy and delicious snack.
It can be two things, sweetie. There's this storage area, and it's actually pretty deep, and I think it's kind of cool because unless you specifically know what that button does, you might never think to look back there. So whatever it is you're trying to hide, and I know what you're trying to hide, Rick, then you can put it right back there. Every Rick in our audience now is just immediately like, oh no, got to enact the action plan. He's on to me.
I love a banana nook.
Banana nook. We got to add that to the Urban Dictionary. Did we? Oh yeah, I forget. There, it did it again.
Again.
It's just trying to help, baby. And I appreciate that trying to help. Let's talk about infotainment systems. So the standard unit is 7 inches, and it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless for both standard. Then there's the optional 8-inch screen. And what's funny to me is that the difference between a 7-inch screen and an 8-inch screen does not seem substantial enough to justify having two. Just make it the 8-inch screen. In fact, having 2 different part numbers for the screens is probably more expensive than just making them all 8-inch screens. How do you feel about the interface?
The icons are clearly labeled by color, which I always appreciate.
Yes.
And the separation of these physical buttons, so there's an easy way to get home. There's a nicely knurled knob, even though it is very small. I find this easy to use. The only downside is that you might accidentally reveal your secret compartment while driving.
Yeah, you don't want to inadvertently reveal your banana nook.
You don't.
The 2022 Chevy Traverse went through some trim changes. They basically killed the base L trim, so now the base price is $3,900 more than it used to be, but you also get a bunch more standard equipment, and to my mind, all that safety equipment, the active safety gear that comes now standard, is kind of an essential addition in the modern age. If you want all-wheel drive on your Traverse, that'll be an extra $2,000, please. Yeah, did you not know that's how that works? You give us $2,000. If the Chevy people say give them $2,000, they're just messing with you. Oh, you Chevy people. If you happen to have aspirations to tow with your Chevy Traverse, keep it below its 5,000-pound max, and that is very competitive for the segment. However, you can tow more with a Ford Explorer or a Nissan Pathfinder. If you're looking to outfit your Traverse with fancy add-ons, things you can add adaptive cruise control, wireless phone charging, a power lift gate, which I like too because you can adjust how high it goes, and a 360-degree camera system.
The 360 camera system has an exceptional number of angles.
Oh, and then one other feature I'll add is the Skyscape 2-panel,
I hate that latch.
2-panel sunroof. The back one is power. The front one you just have to kind of harass into opening. I will counter that with the praise of I really like the name Skyscape.
Oh, that's nice.
All that discussion of feature makes me think I should give you a trim recommendation. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Can you handle my trim recommendation?
Oh yeah.
Here comes the trim rec. If you're looking for a trim that offers the essential gear at a reasonable price, I would go with the absolute cheapest base LS trim. You get keyless access with push button start, 3-zone automatic climate control, and the previously mentioned 6 USB ports. It's a pretty nice vehicle for that base price. I'd go with that. Part of me is tempted to move up to the LT cloth trim just to get the power driver's seat with the adjustable lumbar supports and the blind spot warning system.
Ooh.
But I'd personally rather have that money in my pocket.
Well, I would personally rather have the blind spot warning.
What if I told you the amount of money you were giving up is $4,300?
Ooh, but how much is it going to cost us when I move over when I shouldn't?
We'll just adjust your mirrors and then go to Cabo. As for the competitive set, there are a lot of 3-row midsize SUVs to choose from. The Ford Explorer comes to mind, Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot, Nissan Pathfinder, the Subaru Ascent, which we also reviewed. Oh, and of course the Kia Telluride with its please buy me styling. Did we miss any remarks? If so, leave them in the comments section. Synopsis! Thinking about the essence of the Chevrolet Traverse, I am reminded of the breakfast I have nearly every morning. I have 5% with some Bob's Red Mill muesli mixed into it. It satiates me and it's quite functional. That's very Chevy Traverse, meeting your needs, taking care of you without being outrageously exciting.
Is it delicious?
Delicious enough it is. I said that like Yoda. Chevy Traverse, the Micah Muzio breakfast of midsize 3-row SUVs. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. At 100,000 subs, I'm going to review with my family a windowless white van. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. Family, I think we've done a pretty good job reviewing the Chevy Traverse. May I have some 5s? And a 5. And you. Come get your high 5. Ah!